How different is your approach when you played the team a couple of weeks ago? Like, do you change anything up process-wise?
No, it's the same. Whether it's the same team or different team, I mean, you make slight adjustments based on your opponent for sure, but this is a game that we need to be at our best with. So the nice part is we have played them recently, so it's a little bit familiar for the players, so it gives us a little bit more of a leg up on knowing your opponent than what, let's say, you would have if it was a few months apart.
How was Pelletier coming along? We saw him skating at morning skate today.
Yeah, he's coming. Like, you'd like to see him back now. But he is coming. When you're on the ice, you're getting much closer to being back into game shape and into the lineup.
Not tonight, though?
Not tonight.
Ryan, the Bruins have been one of the best home teams in the league for a couple of years. What did you like most about how your team played in that 4-1 win?
I thought we played as a team that night, and that was a big thing for me. There was a lot of skating and a lot of work by our players to make sure they didn't have a lot of room to get their game going, and that's kind of a recipe that we'll need to see again tonight. So if there was one thing, that would be it. I think that was probably our best team effort of the season.
I asked Connor there, I know he you moved him off the center pretty quickly in Monday's game, but he said, he was like, look, what I'm proud of is my versatility. Is that what makes you view him as being an option?
Absolutely. I mean, we've used him on the right side too this year. So he plays left, he plays on the right, and he will get other opportunities to play in the middle of the ice again. So, again, I go back to playing in the American League. He got a taste of both. Professionally, and that's such an important thing for a young player to have to, or to be able to go through that stuff. So when you need to be used or you want to be used in a situation here, you're a little bit ready for it. And I think he's been one of those guys for us this year. I think it's always important to have a lot of guys that are centers on your roster, so you have the ability to move people around. And Connor naturally was a centerman. He's been playing the wing over the last little while, but you don't lose those instincts.
Ryan, the start's always important, but when you're playing the team in the second half of back-to-back that was in a back-and-forth emotional battle that went to overtime, is it maybe a little bit more important on nights like this?
Scott, I don't think it's got anything to do with the back-to-back. I think it's more to do with Boston's a very good first-period team. I think they've scored 60 or so, and they've only given up 36 in the first period, so they come to play. So whether or not it's back-to-back, I don't think that necessarily matters. We have to be ready to start.
I'd ask a very basic follow-up. Would you say it's important to have a lot of guys who can play center? I mean, why? I guess.
A lot of times, guys that are centermen they're geared a little bit differently, where they understand that they have to be responsible defensively a little bit more because they always work with their D-men a lot in our own zone. So they're the guys that have to be trusted in the middle of the ice. So if you ask a centerman, they'll tell you they're the smartest guys on a team. But that's the reason why they have just a real good understanding of different areas of the game as compared to a winger that typically will just go up and down as well.
How much does that help for in-game adjustments for you as well if you need to change things up a little bit?
Yeah, it's important. I mean, that's a lot what we alluded to right with the prior question, that Sharon went back to the middle. I mean, we like Sharon on the wall, obviously, because I think he's able to generate a little bit more there, but he's got the ability to play the middle of the ice, so it just allows you a little bit of flexibility, move pieces around.
What's your philosophy when it comes to developing young centers or players who are drafted as centers and they're trying to come up in that position?
Hard. It's much like a defenseman. We always talk about D-men. It takes a little bit of time for them to come in their own. Centers are the same, and that's why, again, I'll go back to the American League. People hate it when they talk about it early, like, why is this guy down there? Why is he down there? Well, he's down there for a reason, because it's not easy to play as a centerman in this league, especially when you have to play against some of the top guys. Guys that really know what they're doing and guys that elevate their play at this time of the year. So I think if you can work them into that position a little bit by using them in the American League, when they get a chance here and there at our level, eventually they understand how to play that role consistently and at a high level.
Kuzmenko was briefly on the fourth line last game. What you're hoping to see now that he's back with you, really?
That was just kind of an in-game thing, but what we'd like to see out of him was making sure he's really strong on the puck. That's one of his strengths, is that when he has it, he's able to cut back and he can get away from people quickly. And I think the second thing would be shoot the puck. He's got a real heavy shot, so we'd like to see him have 3 to 5 shots on goal per night if possible. At least that many attempts is what we'd like to see from him.
Markstrom tonight?
We'll see.